Hi, I'm Irene Huntsman, Catalyst Life Coaching. About grief in relation to losses that are not related to the death of a loved one. In the first session, we helped identify that it is grief that you're struggling with, and today let's talk about what to do about it. As we talked about, grief is a process. There is no quick fix. It doesn't follow a standard set of steps in a set order. There are some commonalities in most people's grief process, but it isn't a one and done kind of problem that you'll eventually get over. So don't let anyone tell you will. It is called a process for a reason. And again, there is no quick fix, even with grief that does not relate to the death of a loved one. You may experience many phases of grief. They may come back around again when you thought you'd moved past it. Be patient with yourself. You'll get through it. Now that you're aware that you are experiencing grief and that this grief is having some kind of impact, the grief opportunity offers you an invitation to be open to it. I invite you to embrace the experience and allow the grief to teach you and direct you. You must voluntarily enter grief for its lessons to ultimately teach and lift you. We seem to learn best through struggles. The struggles life gives us. That's just the way we are as human beings. Embrace this opportunity. You are unique. Your journey on this earth is unique. Your journey through your grief will be as unique as you are. Not everyone will recognize or acknowledge your grief or your right to grieve, but you have to honor and allow it to happen as you need it to. Otherwise, you may end up with complications far worse than the original grief. Some of the experiences which bring on grief create in us a need or an opportunity for a new self-identity. For example, a divorce. Now you're a different person as a single person. Or a move to a new city. Maybe there's some things you want to give up, you don't want to do anymore. Or abuse. And in sometimes situations like that, you really have to discover who you are to begin with. You may have to determine who you are now and who you want to be going forward since this loss has occurred. If you feel like an old part of you has died, it gives you the opportunity to create a new part of you as you feel compelled and directed to do so. Trust your intuition in this creative opportunity. Get in touch with your spirituality as part of the process. Tons of resources are available to us. Be sure to choose a resource as a means of support rather than to avoid dealing with your grief. I'm talking about therapy, support groups, Reiki, EMDR, massage, meditation, mediums, religious leaders, rehab if you need it, books, and podcasts. I encourage you to find resources that support you in your unique journey through this grief. Find someone that you trust and you respect to talk things through with. It can be a friend or a colleague or someone that you've met at church. Talking is an important therapy for getting you through the grief process. Your listeners should be supportive without trying to direct or help you. They should listen without trying to fix you on your journey. They should not dictate a timeline for you getting over it. And you should talk until you've made meaning of the experience and have worked through it. Through all of the emotions. This may take a long time. It may take a short time. Don't judge the process. Don't judge you going through the process. I know some people hate talking about their feelings. It's important to at least try with grief. But if you can't make talking work, find another creative outlet, such as journaling, writing poetry or songwriting, sketching or painting. It's important to get these feelings outside of you rather than keeping them in. If talking makes you uncomfortable, try art. Or join a support group or an online group of people with similar experiences. I always recommend everyone have a therapist that they visit with. So for the purposes of this short session, what are some practical steps that you can take to help yourself in the here and now? First, I want to say none of these will surprise you, or this isn't going to be the first time you've heard them. But I encourage you to listen with new ears before you reject any of them. If you are just discovering what's holding you back in your life is grief, then look at these steps through that lens and be open-minded, okay? So the first one, try to get plenty of sleep. I know some people need medications to sleep, at least for the short term, either a prescription or an over-the-counter kind of help. Some people can try relaxation techniques prior to bed. For some people, exercising earlier in the day is the key to relaxing when it's bedtime. For most people, a nightly routine helps. Experiment with what works for you and be consistent. Sleep is a very overlooked need our bodies have to heal and rejuvenate themselves. Second, eat healthy. I know you hear this a lot, but when grief can either have you avoiding food altogether or eating unhealthy comfort foods, at this time it's important to try to support your body through eating healthy foods regularly. Try to remember food is fuel for your body. Third, be kind to yourself. You're now aware that you're struggling with grief. Keep that in the forefront of your mind. Don't put pressure on yourself to feel better on anyone else's timeline except yours. You'll work your way through the process and be better for it, but it has to be on your timeline and as it suits you. It's important to say trust your instincts. Once you've embraced the experience of grief and mourning, your instincts will guide you in the way you should move, but you have to trust it. Fourth step is avoid anything that makes you numb. It's immensely attractive to numb your senses by drinking too much, taking medications, watching too much TV, playing too many video games, too much online shopping, or spending too much time alone. Be aware if you're avoiding your feelings by numbing your senses. It won't help you long-term handle the grief, so don't do it. Fifth, try to make a routine that works for you and stick to it. When you are in grief, routine will help you get what you need to do done. Caring for yourself and others who rely on you gives you a stability and a direction and will ultimately provide you with a sense of accomplishment that you really need right now. Sixth, return to activities you've always enjoyed but you've given up. If you quit because of the emotions they caused, find a way to return to the activities. You've committed to feel your feelings, so don't avoid things and people that make you feel them. If you love to visit a certain store or a restaurant that you haven't been back to, or you enjoy taking walks or swims, but you don't want to do it alone, listen to music, create art, get back to doing those things that have brought you joy and happiness in the past, but you stopped doing for some reason. And then lastly, find small ways to help you feel better. Again, go for a walk or a swim. Buy yourself fresh flowers every week. Journal, exercise, pray. Do something for yourself that makes you smile and feel the joy that has been missing from your heart for a while. There is no way around grief. We must simply work our way through it. This type of grief from losses that are not death is no different. Harder to identify maybe, and harder for other people to see and support, but no less important. You will work your way through. You will not be cured, nor will you get over it. You will adapt to the changes it has brought into your life. You will find hope and joy and peace as you work through the process. I hope you'll find the healthiest way for you to do that. Be blessed. Like and follow for more tips and coping skills. Again, I'm Irene with Catalyst Life Coaching. My website is joincatalyst.coaching.com. I hope you'll check it out. Thank you.